What's up, everyone? I'm Virginie from Better Music, and this is my podcast, Better Minds. On this podcast, we will have conversations about life, health, struggles, and music. I hope this place will make you feel loved and safe, and I really hope this place will make you feel like you can fully be yourself. Thank you so much for listening. This is the last episode of this season, and I am so happy to share this conversation with Stevie Bankster, a wonderful human being and artist. Obviously, we talk about mental health, his single Alive, and his musical journey. Thank you so much for being here. How's your mental health these days?
Yeah, good question. I think for me, it's definitely on and off. I take it day by day, for sure, just because you never know what wave's coming. A lot of the time, you can't predict where your mental health is going to be. For the most part, I think I'm doing really well. I've found things that I love to do in those times where I'm feeling a little bit down or anxious. So I think I'm going really well, actually. I just released a song a couple weeks ago, which we'll probably discuss a bit later. But in the release of that, it's often reliving what's discussed as you're bringing it to a wider platform. So it's something very vulnerable, maybe that I wouldn't share with people. So then you kind of relive it. So it's good. Everything's good. I think I'm on the right path.
I'm happy. I'm happy for you.
Yeah. And how are you doing these days?
I think I'm better now. I've been going through a very hard time because I think I was healing, like a deep healing. So it was very painful to feel every emotion. So I think I was kind of depressed.
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of anxiety. So I was always listening to my, negative thoughts. So I had to deal with that. But I think I'm better now.
Amazing. But it's like also replaying your brain.
Yeah.
At times when we're feeling a little bit weak, or the strong and empowering voice in us is like feeling quiet. That other voice does kind of take over. So we have to, once we're conscious of it, we really have to train ourselves to switch it back.
Yeah, and we have to be kind to ourselves.
Yes.
I've been mean to myself for a very long time, so that's why my body was in constant danger all the time. So I learned that, so I think I'm going to be good now, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you've had to deal with that. I think in life in general, I don't think that there's enough teaching the kids, being gentle and kind, or even just loving and appreciating yourself. So I definitely have found with myself it's been something that I've had to learn, and I'm still learning every day. That sort of gentle. Maybe that we would give to others so easily, that to give it to ourselves,
Exactly. But yeah, it starts from childhood.
For sure.
So how was your childhood?
I think I had a beautiful childhood. I have a lot to remember about it that was really great. So I focus on all that stuff. A supportive family. I started pursuing my music at a very early age, so I was very blessed to have them be so supportive and give me the opportunity to do singing lessons, maybe from the age of 7. So I was very lucky to have that. Other things kind of arose as a child during schooling, because I did start singing from such a young age, and I was quite confident and outspoken as a child. I would always sing and perform, and, I'd be crazy at school. And so that did attract, unfortunately, a lot of bullies or people that would have something to say or, interfere my day with some negativity. So whilst it was a great childhood and I'm very thankful for a lot, that bullying era, which did last from primary or like early learning days all the way up until the end, that was, definitely difficult as a kid. Just to, when you have such good intentions or, you just want to have fun and then you realize that some people are not the same, or I think kids are very often quick to speak negatively. It was definitely hard. And I think unraveling through the trauma, I've found that in order to be more palatable as I was young, a coping mechanism would be to hide all those shiny, fun, special things about myself. So it's kind of like relearning who I am again and what I love. And whilst I've done a lot of work on that, it does still come through daily. Just noticing things and, I think it's a part of being queer as well. Like we do that, like I had the bullying on top of it, but a lot of the time someone that's queer might really try and fly under the radar or not be noticed or act a certain way to be accepted. So I think once we come to terms with who we are, we really have to relearn who we really are deep down. Yeah.
Damn, life is hard.
Yeah, there's a lot of
If we didn't have all these people judging and bullying and all that, life would be so much better.
Yeah.
Just
I try and look at it in a way. I mean, everyone has their stuff. Everyone has their path, their journey, their process. And I guess it was just part of mine. So like, whilst it hurt me and little Stephen back then, I think it empowers me now to talk more about this stuff because I think there just needs to be a conversation around everything, around sexuality, around bullying, around mental health. I think everything is important to discuss,
Yeah. It's going to be pretty dark here, but I learned yesterday that we learned on the news in France that a kid, she was 9 and she killed herself because she got bullied. And that it's terrible. It's still out there.
Very common. And I think these days is another level because the social media of it all is just so prominent. I feel like at least I got the early end of the social interaction, but there was definitely no constant keeping track of where you are and what you're doing. So I think it's really hard to escape that when you go home, which should be a safe place for a lot of people. So with the social media, it's just it's a lot for young kids to kind of...
Yeah, it's worse.
Yeah.
They all have phones and they have group chats and they talk about everybody.
Yeah. That's so, yeah.
Yeah. And when did you know you were queer?
Good question. I really, in my brain, can't pinpoint it. I feel like I just never really thought otherwise. I just always saw souls, I guess, as a young kid. So I really don't know when it kicked in. I feel like I was born this way. The stifling and the suppression of it lasted quite a long time as I was trying to get on with life and be straight or be, normal. So I feel like I came out quite late in life, or I came to terms with who I was much later than maybe a lot of people. And also because of the bullying, like a lot of the time they'd call me gay or they'd call me a girl or, things which actually now I think are very empowering and beautiful things to be called. But as a kid, it was quite, it made me feel quite, attacked. And like if I was any of these things, that the world would treat me way worse than what they were at that time. So as a kid, I just trained myself to forget it, or like it wasn't around or it didn't happen. So it's interesting, the coping mechanisms that we have.
Yeah. Very.
Mm.
So when did you know that music was your life?
Mm. Yeah, it's a good question. I think it came in layers. But the first thing that the first time that I like voiced it, I think I was about 7. I had to do some project at school where we said it was like, what would you want your mum to do for you? That was like the theme of the story or the sentence that we had to write. And I said, I want her to make me a pop star. And so that's what brought it to light. But I was always singing and dancing and very, very into music and video clips and all that stuff growing up. So the first kind of nail into the process of it all was at 7, I started singing lessons. So that kind of began and spiraled. So then I pursued music and theatre and just everything within the performing arts space. And then I think when I was 20 years old, I had this amazing opportunity where I won a competition online. And so I got to go to Hollywood and stay at a house in the hills and do a Hollywood music immersive program. So they introduced us to people and kind of taught us a lot about the industry. We worked on an original song during that time over the week. So I think through that process, it really solidified my self-belief. I think that's what was lacking before I went there. So my belief in myself as a singer, taking myself seriously as a songwriter, that's really what started me on this like mission, and put even further of a fire underneath me.
Beautiful. What did you grow up listening to?
A variety of stuff. I really love my 90s like R&B. That's like my...
Yes, I was going to ask you.
Yeah. But yeah, I really loved Britney Spears early days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had like a lot of videotapes. I used to watch her music videos and behind the scenes interviews and stuff like that. Yeah, and then my parents used to listen to like very more eclectic poetic stuff. So my dad would listen to Bob Dylan, and my mum liked like Eurythmics and I don't know. So there's quite a mixture of different genres coming through. So I think I have a like for everything in that sense.
Yeah. I was more into pop and R&B.
Yeah. I definitely they're my two. That's my genre. That's my horror.
All these boy bands and Christina and Britney.
Yeah, yes, really good.
Boys to Men.
Yes, love.
Brian McKnight.
Yes, he's not soulful. These people were.
Yeah. Asian people love these songs, these love songs.
Soulful, pulled up from the deepest inner parts of you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I loved Boys to Men.
Yeah, they're iconic. Did you hear that D'Angelo actually passed away?
Yeah. I saw that yesterday. I was shocked. I forgot about him for a bit and I was like, what?
Yeah, so very interesting, very sad.
It is sad. I think he had cancer.
He was young.
51, I think. Yeah. So sad. But yeah, he had great music. How did your music evolve since your debut single?
Yeah, that's a good question. I started releasing music, so I'll like reframe the story. So I've come into myself as a person as I've developed. So my music has grown with me. So for instance, when I first released music, I was in the closet. I didn't know who I was. I was young. And I think what I created then was quite beautiful. But as every day passes, I feel like we find a certain knowing with ourselves, and we become more and more ourselves. So I just think that with every song that I release, I'm really coming into my own, and that will be forever changing. So I think there's more pain in my current music because there's more life lived. Further trauma has been experienced as we've stayed on the earth for longer. So yeah, I think it's coming from a more mature voice, someone who knows who he is and is continuing to learn that about himself.
Yeah. So who are you?
Who am I? That's a great question. It feels very broad, but I'll try to answer it. Who am I? I feel like I'm a kind, sensitive person, with a deep, deep soul. I'm a deeply feeling person. I'm very empathetic. And yeah, I want to spread love and happiness and the feeling of collective consciousness and togetherness in this world rather than pushing further out from each other and becoming more distant.
Wow, that's a beautiful answer.
Very cool about that, to be honest. So thank you. Yeah.
And you are highly sensitive. This is how you described yourself just now.
Yes. Yeah. I think there's been a lot. I don't know. I think sensitivity has been misrepresented in the world. I think that it's a really beautiful and powerful thing, and so it's a blessing. It's a blessing and a curse, but I think it's a blessing and strength that some people can't attain. So I think it needs to be embraced and also harnessed into a constructive space. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because I have a lot of feelings and I feel every emotion from, everybody. So that's why I try to come back to my room and ignore all the noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say space to recharge.
Yeah, we need that because it's too much.
Would you call yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
I always say that I am an introvert when I am with people like you, where I can be myself. Well, extrovert, I would say. Sorry. And introvert when I'm with people who don't like who I am, who don't want to understand who I am. So, yeah, I would just shut up and listen.
No, definitely.
What about you?
Yeah, I think similar thing to you. I always identified as an extrovert when I was young, and the more and more I grow in life, I feel like I'm identifying with the introvert side more, where I need to be on my own to recharge. I don't get my energy from being out and about with other people as much anymore. But there's definitely when I'm around my closest people or my family, they will definitely say I'm an extrovert.
Yeah.
And when I'm on stage or at a photo shoot, or I can very easily conjure that person within me that is that extrovert and that confident person. But as a person now, more and more, I'm relating to that quiet, keep to myself kind of, introvert life.
Yeah. And do you often go out and see people?
I think in life, like things are quite busy at the moment for me. So not that often. I think I used to go out with friends, maybe to a bar or just have a drink or something like that. Or a dinner a week, something like that. I try and factor them in, but I think with life, like going, I have a full-time job, and I'm also doing my music, which is almost another full-time job and a half with all the spinning tops that you have kind of balancing. So yeah, I like being social. I love seeing my friends. I have a beautiful group of friends around me. And so I love that when I can make the time for it, for sure.
Yeah. But the older we get, the harder it gets to go outside, and especially in the evening. I can't do this anymore.
Once I get home from work, I'm like, I'm not leaving my house.
Where do you live now? Are you in Sydney?
No, I'm in Melbourne.
Oh, okay.
So in South. Yeah. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful city.
I want to go there someday.
Come visit. For sure.
Yeah, but it's like a 24-hour flight, maybe. I don't know.
Quite a trip is it's something it takes me like around the 20 to 24-hour mark to get somewhere in Europe normally.
Oh my God. We'll talk about your trip later.
For sure.
So, could you tell me about your song Alive?
Yes. So Alive is a song that I recently released. I released it on the last day of September to honor Suicide Awareness Month. And I kind of wanted to release it at the end of the month to symbolically reflect that the conversation about suicide and mental health needs to continue. And it does continue onto this month, which is Mental Health Awareness Month, which is great. So I released it. I wrote it without the intention of wanting to release it. So I was in my studio. I had like a piano track that felt a bit sad. And I really, at this point in the day, I did not know how I was going to continue my day. And I know music is a very healing thing for me. So I was like, if I can drag myself into the studio and just try and like let something out, that will be a great win for me that day. So I think I ended up turning the microphone on, putting the track on. I don't really like listening to the tracks before I start kind of my word vomit onto the track. I like just having a fresh perspective, especially when I'm at home. So then I just kind of freestyled the first verse and I had it on a voice note on my phone and I was just listening to it. And I was like, this is the one concept I've written that does really resonate with how I've felt in my life, but it is very dark. And so I had no intention of bringing it to light and making it public. And one day I had the studio booked and I was feeling very up and down those days. So I'd booked it the week before and on the day I didn't feel like going. And I was like, but I love doing this. This is what makes me happy. So I feel like I should or I have to go. So I went and I thought, well, if I'm going to be here and feel like this, which was very low, I may as well express it and really finish this song. Which I didn't even at that point anticipate wanting to release it just because it was very raw. So I guess to answer your question in a smaller phrase, Alive is a song that I've written about my struggle with my mental health, about suicide and about wanting to stay on this earth.
I'm so glad you released that song. It's so powerful.
Thank you.
It's sad and beautiful at the same time. And I think we need that.
So much. I really appreciate that. It's so kind.
And what do people think of this song so far?
I've had really good feedback. I think, I don't know, it's not often a topic that you hear spoken about so obviously, I guess, in songs. So I think the feedback's been good. I think there's been a level of shock towards the quiet struggle maybe that I've gone through in my life and maybe not showing that to people. So some people maybe didn't understand how low that I've been. So there's been a level of shock to the whole release. But I think it's been received really well. And yeah, I think a lot of people love when I speak about it and, you know, to see that sort of content pop up on your feed on social media, I think it's really positive, as opposed to a lot of the other things that you might see. So I think it's been a good reception, yeah.
Yeah. And you can help people with this song and with your words in general. So we keep doing that.
That's been my intention with music. And I think, obviously, I feel like it's in my blood and my soul's been calling me towards it since a very young age. But I think from that young age where I was a little bullied child, I often would come home and listen to my music and kind of get in my feels and feel like I was hearing someone else tell their story of struggle. So I felt like I wasn't alone, that other people had struggles and that, you know, it helped me to heal. So that's always been my my goal and my mission as an artist is to speak from the heart, and and be real. So I think the universe really made it easy for me to release this song, even though maybe I didn't want to share it on a conscious level. I think it'll manifest easily.
There are a lot of songs that helped me during my high school years.
Yeah.
So when you have songs like that, it's really helpful to know that you're not alone. Can be this topic or another topic. For me, it was more about choosing yourself and not let anyone tell you what to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's why I have this stripped record behind me from Christina.
Yes.
Because those songs really helped me.
Yeah, that album was a big one.
Yeah, it is. Her best one, I think.
Yeah, it has a special spot in my heart for sure. I would agree.
How's it like to live in your brain every day?
That's a good question. I think it depends on the day. I think, yeah, it really depends. Sometimes it's very hard. Nurturing that positive voice that we kind of discussed earlier can feel really difficult on some days. Especially kind of grinding and working in maybe an industry that I am not as passionate about, in order to kind of fund my music career. So, it can be hard, and having to go, like, run all engines fire, like, go. It can be difficult, but I think being busy is also a coping mechanism for me. Filling my plate doesn't give me a lot of space in the moments to kind of, to let that voice come through. I just keep busy. I don't know.
Yeah, staying busy is key. But when you're not busy...
Exactly. So I'm definitely looking into that side of things too, because I think we need to make time to rest. So today, that's why I had like a kind of chill day. I just did things that were quite nourishing, and yeah.
And what different steps did you have to take towards healing?
That's a good question. I think like the first step of healing is kind of acknowledging the need for healing, for me at least. So I think that sets the ball in motion for the universe to kind of bring you what you need, rather than what you may want. Maybe it's what you need because it might trigger you. It might cause you to look at some things. So I think it's always been something that I've worked towards, being aware of my emotions. I think as a deeply sensitive child and individual in general, I'm probably self-aware to a fault in a way. So yeah, I don't know. I think I started quite early. I was in therapy as a child due to the bullying and things. The suicide kind of theme was very apparent when I was a kid, when I was like very young. So it started with traditional therapy. Through my teenage years, I found a healer, and so I'll go to the healer still to this day, someone that I met when I was 15 or something like that, maybe even 14. So I go to a healer where I deal with a lot of the emotional and spiritual kind of attachments. I do my meditation. I feel like that's a very big part in healing and quieting the mind. For me, at least, I feel like it's very empowering when I have the time to do that. I delve into breath work. I find that powerful as well. Yoga is very good. Just being outside in nature, I feel, is very healing. I used to journal a lot. So I think it's all very self-reflective things, or things that allow you to quiet the mind. Yeah. What about you?
I do the same things.
Yeah.
Yoga, breathing exercises. I did one before logging in.
Same.
I take walks by myself. Listening to music. Sometimes I just need to put my headphones on and I just feel good. Meditation and something new. I write down every day all the little things I did for myself, like victories. Yeah, because I'm trying to be kind to myself. So that's the new thing.
Amazing.
Yeah, but I've been doing yoga for 5 years now, but I needed something new to completely heal. And that's why I was saying that I needed to understand why I was always feeling in constant danger. Because people were mean to me for so long, so I believed in it. So that's why I've been mean to myself. So I think that's a good way to heal when you understand what's going on and what happened.
Yeah. And then you have some context around maybe some of your behaviors and
Yeah.
for sure, like maybe you became that voice of everyone else that would judge or hurt you. You became that to yourself so that maybe you wouldn't be seen as much or you wouldn't be vulnerable. So that's really sad. But it's pretty amazing that you were able to see that and acknowledge that. I think that that's very beautiful in itself.
Thank you. Took me a while. But yeah.
Road, acknowledging trauma or, you know, patterns that we have within ourselves, that's like, it's a crossroads between like maybe a more comfortable space in life or like a very uncomfortable journey of healing that it's like a ball of yarn that unravels endlessly. So that's a bold and strong choice, you know?
Yeah, I think it's brave that we did that because a lot of people won't even care. Another deep question. What would you tell your younger self?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think it changes depending on what level my healing is at. But one kind of theme that would stay would be don't shrink yourself. Yeah, don't hide who you are. Don't care what other people think. As long as you're a good person, and you are, just be yourself. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Almost made me cry. Because it spoke to me.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad then. But it's, I don't know, that little inner child. I mean, I feel like little Stephen was, through some form of another, given that advice when I'd come home crying from being bullied, or, you know, when I went to my therapy and stuff. It was always, you shouldn't care what other people think, and, you know, but it just never really hit home as a kid. I guess there's no understanding cruelty as an innocent child. You don't understand why maybe the bigger kids are cruel or angry, or, you know, your intention is always pure. So it's quite a challenging lesson to learn as a kid. So I think that would be the main thing.
Yeah. And when did you realize that you kind of healed from the past, from your traumas?
That's a hard one because I feel that some days I'll feel completely healed from something, and then I'll realize another layer of it, and it's like I have to re-heal from where I'm at now. I don't know, does that kind of resonate with you? Do you know what I mean? Like, so it depends on the day, but something might trigger me and I just have to revisit it from who I am today and how I've evolved today, and kind of just feel it out, let it pass. So I don't know, like I feel like it's such a bad answer, but I don't want to say it, but I feel like it's an everyday kind of battle.
Yeah.
Maybe battle's not the right word. It's an everyday, take it day by day, see as it comes. Yeah, because as we learn more about ourselves and even grow, I think we look at maybe the traumas that have happened to us in a different way, you know?
Yeah. I don't think we completely healed. I think we just learned to live with it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's harder.
Yeah.
But it's easier most of the time. Because definitely.
We know ourselves more, we can kind of give ourselves the support maybe we need.
Yep. So what message do you want to give to anyone struggling with their own mind?
Yeah. I would say you're not alone. That's the main kind of message and goal that I have through having conversation about these topics, and even releasing my song, is to say, like, you're allowed to feel how you're feeling and you are valid. It is okay. And it might not feel like it's okay, but it will be. And there's also support around you. If you maybe don't have a support system, there are so many, depending what country you're in, so many different hotlines and kind of resources. So like, please try to find help. But at the same time, it's hard to give that advice because when you're that low and that in that dark space, you don't feel like reaching out. So I think circling back, my goal is to make them feel like they're not alone. I think that intention and that feeling could be the difference between someone being here and not.
And when did you realize that you needed help? When did you ask for help?
I think as a kid, that was the first kind of opportunity of help that I had, where I would see a psychologist or something like that, a counselor. So I think that was help that was given to me. Maybe I didn't really ask for help, but then I found my healer and kind of, I know when I need to call her. I can feel the emotions bubbling up. So I think it's interesting because asking for help is a much more common occurrence, than one time or two times. I think we all as humans need help. So I think I ask often. Now that I think about it, I ask for help often.
That's a good thing. Yeah, it's hard to ask for help sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. So what's next for you, music-wise?
Well, I'm really excited because I'm about to get back in the studio. So I never know what I'm going to write about until I'm sitting in that space. I kind of like it that way. So I'm excited to see what my soul wants to say, because I kind of just go with it. I always meditate before today or before I go to the studio. I do like a long breath work session just to like ask the universe to bring me what I need to say and, give me the words to speak when I feel like I can't. So yeah, I don't know. That's just an exciting new journey to kind of delve down. Yeah, I just came off like traveling for 2.5 months. So I've been back in Australia for a month now. So the traveling was really beautiful.
Oh yeah, please tell me about that. You were everywhere. I was like, where is he now?
Yeah, well, I went everywhere. We were away for 2.5 months. A good month and a half of it was in Greece and throughout the Greek island. And we started in London for my best friend's wedding, which was phenomenal. Like core memories, like beautiful, beautiful memories. So, and then we just traveled around. So we went to Amsterdam, then we went to Paris, then we went to Portugal and Barcelona, and then we ended up in Greece.
Wow.
It was very beautiful. Like every place just had such a different energy, and I feel like living real life in the real world is where like a lot of inspiration comes from. So I came back definitely ready to write and ready to live more life and, get out some of my experiences too. But yeah, that was phenomenal. It's opened my eyes to wanting to move somewhere within Europe. I don't know where.
Yes.
But yeah, I just feel like I love Australia so much, but we're very disconnected from the rest of the world. It takes quite some time to get out of the country, and money too. So I would just love living in Europe. I think I would love to be on Eurovision. It's like a dream of mine since a kid, for Greece. So I'm working on bringing that into fruition, bringing that into the world. But yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, I bet. Traveling just makes you feel alive.
Mm, for sure. Yeah,
How,
it's the
how was Paris?
beautiful. I had only been one time prior, and that was 2 years ago. I was staying with my friend in London and we just caught a train for a day. So I think I had like 5 or 6 hours in Paris, and that's the only Paris that I'd experienced, which I loved. But this time around, we stayed, I think, for 3 or 4 days, and I just love, I don't know, there's just something in the air for me, um, which I never really anticipated. Um, But yeah, just walking around for hours, looking around, I don't know, just eating. I don't know, the vibe was just, for me, it was beautiful. Yeah.
Nice. What did you think of the people?
Um, I found everyone to be really pleasant. I know that there's a stigma.
That's why I'm asking.
I don't know. It's interesting because the Australian culture is very, I would say, polite and very almost people-pleasingly polite. Um, and I'm a people pleaser anyway. So like the culture is very that way. Whereas I think I've learned over my years going to Greece and just learning that just because they're not people pleasing, it doesn't really mean that the person's being rude. I found like in Greece especially, and I maybe in Paris a little bit as well. Like for instance, if you're ordering at a restaurant, maybe the person, they're not going to be overly friendly or smiley or engaging because they're just there to get your order.
Hmm.
Very matter of fact. And when someone's genuinely kind, you recognize that for the beauty that it is. I don't know, does that make sense? Because that's kind of what it's just they're not trying to suck up. They're not trying to, they're just being. Yeah.
That's true, though.
So I kind of like that in a way because I feel like a lot of the time you just have to stay so on in life, being so kind to everyone that you interact with. And like, I'm obviously like that. That's who I am as a person. But I just admire and think it must be really nice to just be able to go, yep, what's your order? It's not like, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't have to overdo it. For example, when you go to the US, they're always so polite and so kind.
Also incentivized by the tip.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
But yeah, which is interesting because they're doing it because they're getting something from it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
When even when they're not, I don't know. I just think sometimes that lack of performativeness is beautiful.
Yeah.
I feel like these days it sometimes feels like everyone's performing, myself included, with social media and the highlight reels and content. I just think it's refreshing sometimes in some European cultures where they don't feel the need to perform at all points of the day.
Yeah. All right. Last question. What does it mean for you to be alive?
Oh, you hear me with the good questions today. Sophia, what do you think? What does it mean for me to be alive? Oh, I think it means understanding the balance in everything, the highs and the lows, and accepting yourself for wherever it is that you are on that spectrum of high and low.
Thank you so much for listening. Like I said, this was the last episode of the season. I don't know how season 2 is going to turn out, but I want to keep going. I love talking to you and listening to your stories. Like I said before, this podcast also feels like a therapy to me. So I hope each episode helped you in some way. I want to keep combining mental health and music. I think that's going to be my main goal from now on. This conversation really meant a lot to me. And the lesson learned from this conversation is be kind to yourself. That's what I would say. And always know that you're not alone. It's been very hard to promote this podcast, but all these conversations mean everything to me. And if it can help at least one person, then I am happy. On that note, take care of your mind. And thank you again for everything. And I wish you nothing but the best. Happy holidays and see you next year.